probably, the learning time may be a little more on the accessibility, quality assessment and quality analysis, but it definitely is going to be a niche that is going to be appreciated in in the coming day and in today's day and age, because as I think again we have spoken about a lot on top down policy laws, not just in India but globally as well, around accessibility, digital accessibility, infrastructural accessibility, and how inclusion of a variety of individuals is now a right and a responsibility of the organizations and designers and engineers who are working on those products. It may require some more time to master those skills, but that should not deter you from beginning to learn, and I think this is one of the first steps to do it. So let us talk about another kind of example, which is something which is very common. These terms are quite common in the IT sector: low priority or blocker. So same issue can be of different severity. So for example, there is a bug where there's a focus indicator is not visible on buttons, right? Severity is very low in the IT sector terminology because it is considered cosmetic. It is that the text is not visible, the signifier is not visible. From a functionality perspective, it is very much visible. Impact, the buttons still work fine, priority fixed when time allows, right? So basically it is labeling your problem as low priority. This is an example of one bug as presented in a traditional quality analysis report. However, the same bug, focus indicator visible, not visible on buttons. In an accessibility quality analysis report, this severity can be of a blocker level from a functionality perspective also, right? So because WCAG focus visibility level AA is not getting fulfilled, this is mandated by the law of the land, and that's why it becomes highly severe, not low priority. Impact is that the keyboard users will not be able to navigate your site. Users affected, 2.5 million keyboard users only in the US. Legal risk, so ADA compliance failure, and this can cause heavy fines, etc. Priority, immediate fixes required. So this is also the impact of top-down legal mandates, right? So the inversion is now from cosmetic to complete barrier. So that is how the functionality of organizations itself from a QA perspective is largely shifting. So although this definitely is going to be the norm with upcoming accessibility compliance laws, policies, all of those aspects, and it's already in place in a lot of Western countries. But is there a documentation burden which we are adding? So traditional bug reports may be just 5 lines, right? Bug login button doesn't work, click login button, steps to check, click login button, expected, form appears, actual, nothing happens, right? So this is just like a bug report. In an accessibility bug report, all of these nuances have to be added, and that adds to the volume of the report itself. So must document user impact, teach developers and ensure compliance, And most of the time what we also have to see is that the moment even the small bug gets fixed, all of these will get fixed automatically, but we have to be aware of it, right? So accessibility, AT testing, which is assistive technology testing, impact, keyboard users cannot access login, focus visibility, tap through page with keyboard only, all of these are affected users, again 2.5 million, keyboard only users, again ADA Title 3 violation priority blocker. It is a slightly verbose report, but it still needs to be done. Otherwise, again, the company and the product may face legal issues as well. So, well, how can we ease that burden, right? So that there are a lot of tools which are available to help you in this process. So traditional testing tools, sure you might be aware, is Selenium, Jest, Jira, Jenkins, TestRail, JMeter. All of these are again QA test tools, and I'm not going to go into details of any of these. But particularly when we talk about accessibility testing tools, there are automated scanners which kind of cover 30% of the issues, which are Wave, Lighthouse, PA11Y and Dave tools. So Lighthouse and Wave tutorial we have already shared, and they're not 100% efficient, but they still kind of cover or cross check against WCAG guidelines, the non-semantic, non-logical aspects which are 100% code related or front end related, or there are again criteria which have clear pass and fail can be automated. So that is what is happening in Wave and Lighthouse. Then there are screen readers which you have to do manual testing with. So JAWS, NVIDIA is free. So somebody in the QA team has to run the website along with JAWS or NVIDIA or VoiceOver or TalkBack. So VoiceOver and TalkBack are mobile based screen readers, and NVDA is for Windows, largely Windows users use, and this is for iOS. Then there are, somebody has to kind of check it along with screen reader usage, and so based on that, some of the insights can feed into the accessibility QA report. Then there are specialized tools, particularly say if you want to do color contrast analysis, we can do that. We can do natural speaking for particularly for NLP related accents and all, whether it is kind of testing and covering. Accessibility insights is another tool which can help you kind of understand some specific aspects. Browser combinations, so maybe we can try to run our platform or run our website on multiple platforms and multiple combinations. So a Google browser along with iOS based screen reader, or free screen reader with Firefox, VoiceOver with Safari, and all of those things we can kind of try to check in combination as also in order to check the robustness. So you cannot do accessibility testing with just automated tools, and all of these manual testing methods and tools may also be required at this stage. Again, this kind of opens up possibility of can we develop an adaptive, automated, dynamic adaptive testing tool which kind of is able to give you suggestions also that in the real time that, okay, this part is, so we have done the initial scanning, but these aspects were not scanned. So please run it through this. Now this step is done. Now please run it through that. So there is a framework can be developed, step by step framework is also something which is possible. So then the complexity of the standards or the deceptive simplicity of WCAG. So for example, the WCAG itself, it may require a lot of deeper understanding. So say for example, the first WCAG guideline or criteria just says non-text content, all non-text content has a text alternative. Sounds pretty simple, right? But the reality is that it may need 50 plus decision points, and that is only possible through accessibility, manual accessibility testing. So for a single product image, you must know, is it decorative or informative? So all text equals to whatever versus descriptive alt text. So is it like one word or no? Is it a description? Is it a link, describe destination, not image? If it's just the link, is it complex? So we are just, all we are doing is just talking about what alt text needs to be added to an image. WCAG just says that you have to have an alt text for all images. But then what kind of alt text also requires all of these points of decision. Is it a complex, right? Or is it, is the context already provided? Can it be shorter? Does it need to be very long? Is it a button? Then the alt text has to describe the action also, not the image. Is it an icon? Then alt text base function. Is it CSS background? Then you must move to HTML. Is it an SVG? Then it has to be title and descriptive elements. Is it a chart? Then table alternative is also needed in the alt text. Is it a logo? Then you have to describe the company name, not the logo. So multiply by 61 success criteria, roughly 50 plus decision making, for each WCAG criteria. It's a lot to process. So WCAG isn't just a specification, it's a domain of expertise, and people who are will be familiar with these specifications and this specific domain are going to be of a lot of value to their organizations. So traditional testing requirements are clear, accessibility testing, every requirement has a hidden complexity which needs mastery of all of these aspects related to disability and various aspects of testing pertaining to accessibility. So one would think, why take so much burden, right? But the economic reality is that you have to do it, otherwise it can be a big fine for your company. And there has been multiple examples for to learn from, because commonly known companies like Domino's, for example, have had multiple accessibility lawsuits over a period of time. And I mean, they have paid a lot of money, not just to advocates and their legal team, but also they had to pay a lot of settlement amount as well. So basically, some blind customer in 2016 was not able to order pizza via its website or the app. A lawsuit was filed in 2017, and Domino's argue that website is not covered by ADA, which is the law that all digital applications have to be compliant. Then 9 circuit rules against dominoes. Then they say websites are covered, right? And then dominoes in 2019 re-appeals to Supreme Court. Supreme Court declines case, lower court ruling stands, and the case settles in 2021 with an estimated 250,000 250,000 plus US dollars. So, but 5 years of litigation, $4 million of fees, remediation, accessibility, emergency accessibility, overhaul of the entire IT infrastructure, PR damage, incalculable international media coverage, where Domino's was called insensitive to its customers who have disability and all of those things. They lost revenue from millions of excluded users. So multi-million lesson is something what they learned from this. What would prevention have cost? Building accessibility from start may not be more than say 50K dollars, and ROI of ignoring accessibility is negative 12,000%. So still think accessibility is too expensive? Probably not. So I think this is a very expensive lesson that Domino's learned, and now those acts and laws starting 2025 have also found its ground in India as well, and it's not going to be kind of easy to bypass them any longer, and that is where the accessibility becomes very, very critical. So now let us talk about another aspect, which is the false positive problem, right? So your dashboard shows all tests are passed, right? So and then there are whatever 1247 unit tests, 453 integration tests, or whatever, right? All of these tests are passed, or automated accessibility scan, 12 issues fixed, status says ready for production. What actually happens? Real user experience. Keyboard users get trapped in modal dialog, screen reader announces form errors as silence, focus jumps to page top after every action, colorblind user cannot distinguish required fields. So all of these are real user issues. So are tools the only solution? I don't think so. And that brings in the value of testing with real users. So why tests missed it? Because again, they are not, all of these issues do not have a clear pass or fail criteria. So that is why automated tests, they miss it, and they still validate your solution as pass, right? So basically, the automation just validates technical correctedness, not the human usability. So green tests is never equal to an accessible product. And even if you are able to produce in a court of law that all of these automated tests were green, but still your accessibility criteria are getting violated because they're very broad, as we discussed in one of the earlier slides, and in couple of earlier sessions also we have discussed in detail. They're very broad, they have a lot of semantic in-depth meaning as well, each of them. So as of now, automated tools are not able to kind of dive into all of those aspects, and they are only checking the technical correctness of even the accessibility aspects. So as of today, human evaluation, user evaluation is still holds a lot of value. So now let us talk about context dependent testing. So in traditional testing, again, if we talk about say a login button, the test case is click button, login form appears, then it is passed. Result is binary, works or doesn't work. In an accessibility test, same login button, test with user mouse, works. Test with keyboard user, no focus indicator available. No focus indicator available. Test with screen reader user, announced as unlabeled button. Test with voice user control. Visual label is not the same as accessible name. Test with screen magnifier user, button hidden at 200 zoom. So test with switch device user, probably. So again, out of these 6 use cases, only 2 are getting passed. So difference is that one test case becomes 6 context dependent scenarios. So if we take another example now, and we talk about a banking app design. So for example, before it is fully accessible, WCAG 2.1 AA compliant. After the improved UI, all functional tests are passing. But change one, gradient buttons. So looks premium, contrast drops, 8 million low vision users cannot read. Change to, so this is like in double quotes, improved user interaction. Before, so basically what we are saying that many a times we might have seen these boxy looking, very solid colors related, solid colors, boxy interface with very little images, very little or no images, right? Which may aesthetically not, look great, but they are, but the website may be WCAG compliant. And then it is taken up by a designer who is proposing an improved version of user interaction, and still all functional tests are passing. So what the visual QA improvement might have missed are few of these changes. So one is that they might have included gradient colors on buttons, right? It looks premium, looks very nice, but contrast drops because of the gradient. And now if the contrast drops, millions of users who have low vision cannot read the button text. Similarly, micro animations added. Now app feels alive, right? So all of these loading micro animations or everything kind of turns and then opens and all of those things, right? But no one prefers reduced motion support if it is causing cognitive load to people with ADHD or attention deficit disorder, or causes nausea, migraines, etc. for users who have vestibular disorders. Again, all of these disabilities have been recognized by the RPWD Act and is recognized by the law that all of your websites and interactions have to be inclusive of all of these different kinds of users. So it's not just blindness or hearing or sensory impairments as well. There are all of these other ADHD, attention deficit disorder, autism spectrum, low vision users, all of these, right? Another possible change can be a sleek drop down menu. Looks clean, looks modern, but then there is a keyboard trap because the drop down doesn't open with keyboard and users cannot exit. So keyboard users are forced to reload the page if they want to exit the drop down. So the paradox is that visual improvements many a times may result in accessibility catastrophe. And this I'm saying from the perspective of a designer myself, right? But all automated tests might be still passing, but still the accessibility testing, the usability aspects, all of them may be failing, and when we expand it to our pre-discussed context dependent test cases, it may be failing all of those test cases. So regression testing without an accessibility lens can be a mixture for disaster. So that basically brings us to why manual testing is non-negotiable, right? So automated tools, as we discussed, can detect only up to 30% of the technical, the mathematical, the structural, or the syntactical errors and the quality of it. Automated tools cannot detect the semantic aspects, the quality of it, the cognitive aspects, the usability aspects, the experiential aspects, or the workflow aspects as well. So, what frustrates users, what focus management should be there. Screen readers is announcing gibberish, right? Keyboard navigation flow is confusing. Logical reading order makes no sense, or all text says image instead of actually describing the content, then that becomes real issues which can make your product inaccessible for a large number of users. So it is essential to do manual testing, screen reader walkthroughs, keyboard only navigation. Real user testing with disabled participants is also something very important. Life cycle may also change, it become largely more iterative. A traditional testing is more of a sequential uh, uh, process. Accessibility testing may be a cyclic process, so you may have to, kind of keep testing at every stage. So design, test code, test build, test quality and analysis, test deploy, test monitor, right? So but with every step we are using a different kind of test. So at the time of coding, HTML and ARIA testing, keyboard user testing while building, screen reader testing while quality analysis, deployment testing. At the time of deployment you may test with real users. Later when you're monitoring, you can get garner feedback, right? So prevention is there at every stage, and it catches bugs early, and the retraction or making changes is much more cost effective, while in this format it may be largely very expensive. So the difference is that it is expensive remediation versus affordable prevention. In terms of expertise, I think we did talk about this in a previous slide. So after 5 years as a traditional QA engineer, you are proficient or hireable, because it's a smaller amount of content. It's not still evolving. After 5 years as a accessibility quality analysis engineer, you're still learning, technology is still evolving. WCAG 3.0 is coming, new paradigm is coming with which you need to educate yourself. New assistive technologies may be emerging with which you may have to test compliance of your product. ARIA specification updates also keep happening. Browser accessibility APIs keep changing. New court precedents are being set, and I think we did discuss about the recent 2025 court precedent in an earlier session. Again, you can go back and check that one. Regulations are getting updated. International standards are being formalized as well as harmonized globally. So this isn't just different testing, it's a specialized career path which you can choose. Continuously keep evolving yourself, and you can be a valuable asset in an organization. So just to summarize, what are we really testing? The question can be, does it meet specifications? Are we only testing the technical validity? Or are we asking, can all humans accomplish their goals using this product? The real difference, we are not just testing code, we are testing who gets excluded as well. The metric that matters, not pass rate, but human exclusion rate. And final truth, passing tests is not equal to passing humanity or inclusion in any way, right? So I hope this session was useful in understanding how our traditional way of evaluation and testing our digital products, which is quite prevalent in the IT sector these days, how that needs to be changed, and how it can be evolved using newer tools, newer methodologies, and user-based testing in order to make it more compliant with accessibility related requirements, laws, and guidelines. Thank you for joining us in this session. I'll see you in the next session.